the G5 jet. I'm on my way to a brand new kit.
Welcome back, eSIM Studios YouTube channel. We are live on this Friday afternoon or evening, June 6th. No, I beg your pardon. June the 5th. Is it June the 5th, 2026? Long day. Do apologize. Welcome in. Thank you for joining us today. Let me check my audio real quick. Had a couple people say that audio was still low, and hang on. Audio was still low, and I think it sounds okay. Audio was still low. Sounds all right to me. So I double checked my audio before I got started, so hopefully we won't have any more of those issues. But I do want to thank everybody for joining us today. It's gonna be a quick one. If you want to go ahead and enter the giveaway, put hashtag gift in the chat. I would appreciate it. Let's see here. So I posted two shorts earlier this afternoon. One in regards to the OnePlus 16, and the other in regards to the it's not confirmed, but it looks to be the battery capacity of the S27 Pro. And it looks like they're not getting silicon carbon batteries this year, which is kind of a bummer, but it is what it is. Looks like Samsung's not fully ready to implement their version of the silicon carbon batteries in the upcoming S27 series, which we might get into. But if y'all want to go ahead and get hashtag gift put in the chat, I will pull up the giveaway tool, StreamYard giveaway tool here, and we'll get that running. Let's see. I haven't really been paying attention to the news today. Let's see. Is there anything else going on that we can discuss? Let's see here. Let's see if there's any big news besides the S27 battery. I don't see anything. This is from earlier today. It looks like a slow news day. That is okay. That is okay. Yes. Let me pull up my saved stories. So we got the S27 Pro with the battery. We got, yes, we have this one. Now, I don't know, now that I pull up all my saved articles, I'm not sure we'll be able to get to everything, but just to let you know what we will potentially either be talking about today or tomorrow or throughout the weekend. I've been keeping up with this story. The story in regards to Samsung, Exynos CPU, Qualcomm Snapdragon CPU, put out a couple of videos this week explaining how it looks like Qualcomm is kind of strong-arming Samsung to use the Qualcomm chips over the Exynos chips. And now we have some details as far as how Qualcomm is going to attempt to pull this off. And it looks like they're going to make an offer to Samsung that Samsung cannot refuse. Now, we actually have the numbers now as far as the cost per CPU. And it looks right around what I was anticipating the CPUs to cost per CPU for Samsung. But we're not going to get into too much detail. I'll probably save this for a video. But it says that according to this tipster of an insider, the cost of the Exynos 2600 chip, and that's the current flagship chip, the 2700 would be coming out with the Samsung Galaxy S27 series, and that's supposed to be even more expensive. But just to give you an example, the flagship Exynos chip this year has risen from the Exynos 2500 chip, which is in the Z Flip 7, was $220 per CPU per device. $220. And the Exynos 2600 chip is $270, 270 per chip per device. And it's expected to reach levels close to or at $300 per CPU for the Samsung Exynos 2700. And just for comparison, the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 currently costs $230. So current chips, $270 compared to $230. And I estimated it would be roughly $40 to $50 cheaper. It looks like I was correct. Now, the estimated cost, we don't know for sure, but estimated cost of the, if the Exynos 2700 CPU is going to be right around $300, the Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 6 Pro is going to be about $250, which would be $50 cheaper per unit per device in the upcoming S27 series. Now, if you do the math, $50, remember when we did the math and I came up to $232 million in savings for Samsung going with the Qualcomm Snapdragon. Well, that number needs to be adjusted. So if they save roughly $50 per device, Samsung sells, last year they sold 12 million S25 Ultra models. This year they're expected to sell 14 million. Let's say next year they sell 15 million, right? Let me give you a peek inside to what the Samsung executives are thinking about. And they're doing this math while they have meetings to decide what CPU they should go with. Should they hold off their own in-house CPU for Snapdragon? Well, let's see how much money they would save. Now, this is on the S27 Ultra only, let alone the other devices. I'm just talking about the Ultra model, right? So if they sell 15 million, let's see here, that would be 15. Okay, so I got 15 million units times $50. That's $750 million they would save. $250 million. Now, if they go with, let's say they do their entire lineup, so the S27, S27 Plus, and S27 Pro, let's just say they go all in on Snapdragon because they're trying to maximize their savings. I'm willing to say that's savings of basically $1 billion. $1 billion with a B. So you see how they're going to do it. I have no doubt they're going to do it, because why wouldn't they? Their mobile department is struggling, and with savings that totals that much money, they have no choice. They absolutely have no choice to push back the adoption of their own in-house CPU. So I fully expect the S27 Ultra, or if you perhaps you want to get the S27 Pro, I fully expect that to come with a Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 6 Pro, and then in the Ultra and the Pro model. And what they'll probably do to save even more money is use the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 6, the watered down flagship CPU. They could save even more money putting the non-Pro model of the Snapdragon in the S27 and S27 Plus, and then the Pro variant in the Pro and the Ultra. So pretty incredible. Look, Qualcomm, I'm sure, is going to lose a little money on the deal over what they fully of what they're expected to bring in revenue wise from Samsung, but it's either lose Samsung altogether to their own in-house CPU, or cut them a deal. Maybe you might lose 5% on the revenue, but at least you still have that customer, as in Samsung, right? It's like trade-offs, right? Which one you choose? You're going to let them go on their own, or you still want that revenue? So they have to make concessions for their number one customer. So I think Qualcomm's doing the right thing by throwing them a bone, and the strategy is spot on. I think it's a phenomenal idea. And for Samsung, you have no choice but to use Qualcomm, and that's a good thing for consumers, right? That's a good thing. I would prefer, as a paying customer, a Qualcomm CPU over Exynos. That's just me. But like I said, in the future, 5 years from now or something, I'm sure. Well, at this point, we have no idea, but I'm assuming 5 to 6 years from now, Samsung will be using their own in-house Exynos CPU. But until we get there, why not? If you're in Samsung shoes, I wouldn't fully adopt the Exynos CPU until you're 100% sure, no issues. You got a good CPU, and you're confident that your Exynos CPU is ready for a entire model takeover. Honestly, so we'll see how that goes. And then if you missed it, real quick before we do the giveaway, speaking of Samsung. It looks like the silicon carbon batteries are not yet quite ready. So there's a tipster, a supplier for Samsung, a battery manufacturer that puts together these batteries and sells them to Samsung to put in devices. Well, they came out, a leak says they came out and confirmed that the S27 Pro, remember it's going to be the ultra spec model, just minus an S Pen. Now we know it's going to be a little smaller at 6.5 inches. Well, the battery supplier said that the battery for the S27 Pro is going to be a 5,000 milliamp per hour battery. Say 5,000. Well, that's what's in the S27 Ultra, right? Correct. Now, how do I know that they're not going to be using silicon carbon? Well, if they were, it would be a 7,000 milliamp per hour battery, right? Because you can cram more ions in that same space, in that same capacity. So that's how I know it's not silicon carbon. And if they're not going to do it for the Pro, they're not going to do it for the Ultra. So it looks like we're still a year away from Samsung adopting. Remember, it's not the traditional silicon carbon. It's not the same one you can find in a OnePlus 15. It's going to be their version. It's still technically silicon carbon, but it's maybe a tiny bit more advanced than what we're used to, like in OnePlus and in Motorola. Just not quite ready. They've been doing a ton of testing, but it looks like, look, again, if you're in Samsung shoes, I wouldn't do it until you're 100% confident that in what you're putting out is a good thing, right? If there's any little hesitation, any little doubt, don't do it. You cannot afford a mishap at this point. You cannot afford another Note 7 debacle where those phones notoriously blew up, caught fire. So if I was them, and kind of sucks for us because I was kind of hoping, I guess, fingers crossed, that this year would be the year that they throw everything in the kitchen sink in this phone. Because we know that with that new Qualcomm chip, it's going to have LPDDR6 RAM. It's going to have UFS 5.0 storage. I was hoping the silicon carbon doesn't look like that. And then I guess, what are we missing? We're missing the 10-bit display. So who knows at this point what they're going to do with that? I would hope they implement that. Not too wild about the privacy display, but we shall see. But I know there's a lot of people that did not upgrade to this S26 Ultra, right? Because the S27, you're getting all new design, all new camera sensors. I forgot to mention that. And I was just hoping they would bring everything all in one, but I guess we'll have to wait another year. And sometimes they do this on purpose. Even if it is ready, they hold out one big feature to get everybody to buy the very next year's model phone. Like sometimes they'll hold it out on purpose just to give people something to look forward to on the following model. Sucks they do that, but they're not the only ones. Everybody does that, unfortunately. Hello, how's it going? Thank you for joining us. Hey, what's up, brother? Gift, yes, gift. What's going on? Qualcomm trying to sabotage Samsung. I don't think so. I mean, sabotage? Well, the strong choice of words. They don't want to sabotage Samsung because remember, they are a customer. They're just trying to keep the customer coming back for as long as possible. Can you blame them? I would do the same thing if I was in Qualcomm shoes. In fact, it's a fantastic strategy. If you think about it, I think it's phenomenal. I think it's phenomenal. Who gives a flip? A lot of people do. A lot of people do, like me. That's a huge savings. Bad when it's cheaper to buy someone else. Yeah. You know, and when those numbers came out yesterday, I was shocked that they're getting this freaking expensive. Think about it. A CPU's and that's their cost, $300. They're selling the phone for, let's say roughly, let's just say like $1,000, even just the plus model, just a nice whole number. That's a third of the device just in one part. I mean, it's an enormous key factor in what, profits, what they do, strategy moving forward. It's a huge component of the entire piece of the pie, right? If I was Samsung, I would MediaTek and Qualcomm compete for using the CPUs. Whoever the lowest wins. Yeah, it's interesting because they actually sign not on every customer, but a lot of these customers that Qualcomm has for their chips, they sign deals, right? Like an athlete signs a deal, like any other deal, and it's always can be negotiated. But like with nothing signed a 3-year deal recently with Qualcomm, meaning the next 3 models they put out have to be using and or utilizing a Qualcomm CPU. They do that with Samsung. They do that with Xiaomi. So I guess you could do that, but you would have to be at the end of a deal. So not a bad idea. I like MediaTek, and they are cheaper. So maybe it's an option. I can guarantee you that they've talked. If we're talking about it, they've talked about it and or thought about it. That's their job. So I know some of these companies, I'm like, I don't know what the hell they're doing or thinking. But some of these companies, I sit there and think, did they think about this? What are they doing? Now, we're on the outside looking in, so it's easy for us to question them. And you would think, right? This is their job. This is what they do to maximize profit, maximize adoption, the number of people using your devices. This is their job. You would think they would sit around and talk about this stuff all day. So I'm sure they've had discussions about it, but only, we only know a small percentage of leaks and facts and things like that. They have all the numbers. You would think they're making the best decision for the company, but sometimes you really have to wonder what the freak are they thinking. I'm not gonna lie to you. I've second guessed a number of companies. Yeah, and they will use their own at some point. It's just a matter of time. They're gonna have to take that dive in the deep end of the pool and see if you sink or swim. They're gonna have to. But if you're a Samsung, you better be damn sure, very confident that you can do this without sinking, right? Making sure that when you do jump in the deep end that you're gonna be able to swim. So it'll happen at some point, but I wouldn't just immediately rush to Exynos, because that's when you get in trouble. That's when you have issues pop up, or just not quite there. Let's run the giveaway because I got to get out of here. Give me a second. I'm gonna get it set up. All right, let's pull this up. All right, y'all ready? We'll do a longer live stream tomorrow. I'm just crunched on time today, and I do apologize, but I did want to get this in to run a gift. I mean, to run a giveaway. So, what the hell is going on? 0 entries. Did I misspell? What did I do here? There we go. There we go. Let's go. Oh, look at this. Look at this. Ragnarok BW, congratulations to you. You are the lucky winner today of the eSIM Studios live stream giveaway. I think that might be the first time. Congratulations to you. The gift, and maybe I should have mentioned this beforehand, is I'll send you a Cash App transfer, money transfer, or an Amazon e-gift card. It's up to you. Get with me behind the scenes. Email me, esimstudios@gmail.com, esimstudios@gmail.com, and I'll get you your gift here shortly. Check this out. It's nice, right? Sandstone. Beautiful freaking device. Literally just got it. I haven't even turned it on. Just got it. So I'm going to sign into that and get that going. Got some more case reviews to do. So beautiful looking device. Yeah, Ragnarok BW, just email me and I'll get you squared away. I got to run. Game's about to start, but appreciate the time. And I'll go ahead and schedule tomorrow's live stream. Maybe we'll do another giveaway tomorrow as well. I'll schedule that here this afternoon as well. So appreciate the time and have a good evening. And I will see you tomorrow. Be safe. Peace out, guys.
Yeah. Woo.
I just need my space right now.
Fresh off the G5 jet, I'm on my way to a brand new kit.